Okay, hi guys. So I recently had someone asking me regarding Loopy and the setup. So I thought I may take time to show you guys how I do my loops, and with linked through AudioBus. So the first thing first, I have my nanoKONTROL Studio hooked. At the scene 5, basically controls my Loopy HD. So without touching the screen, I can record my loops and clear them, move them, and adjust the panning, volumes, etc. Now you'd notice here that if I go with my fader 100%, it actually gives me 7%, 7 dB boost. Okay, if you don't want this, going 100%, if you wanted to, stop at 0, whatever, you would need to go to the KORG editor and adjust the upper value, okay, on the actual fader. It's the right upper value. I think it's set at 127. You'll need to take it down to 80 or so. You need to experiment. Anyway, moving on, just briefly, I think the question I received was regarding, nanoKONTROL Studio and the, operations, the MIDI. And I think it's really personal thing. I'll show you how I have it set, but again, it comes down to the preference and the flow. So I have 6 different because we have each channel has 6 options, right? You have the fader, pan, and then mute, solo, recording, and select. So I have mute, solo track, toggle record, clear track, that would be the select button, adjust pan, and adjust track volume. So you can see this is for track 1, same thing for track 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Even though I only have 6 channels, I actually set it for 8 because, again, nanoKONTROL Studio does come with 8 channels, so I thought, why not? Anyway, then we have some global settings. So again, you will need to take time and think through. What I would recommend you to do, go to maybe the pictures from the KORG website of the controller and write down really what do you want those buttons to be. So let's say the wheel for me, it's not the volume, but the tempo. Cycle, it's on off for metronome. Set, it's tap tempo. This little markers left and right, that's metronome up or down. These tracks here are for that's for bars, how many bars. So you start with 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever you need. They just stay as they are. A part of the select. The select is, I think it was clear track. And now this return button, it's it's a reset session. So again, it can you can take it to the next level. Again, it depends of how you work. Anyway, going back to the Loopy. So hopefully this kind of covers enough here. All you need to do, basically go add binding, you select what you want to do, let's say toggle mute. What track do you want to toggle mute with? Okay, track 3, go to track 3 on your controller, and then you go toggle mute, just press mute, and that's it. Okay, then you save it, and then you don't do it for everything, whatever you need. Anyway, going back, see here you have Bluetooth connections. You could connect. Now, if you can connect it through Loopy and you switch up Loopy, for some strange reason it disconnects. So it seems the Bluetooth control seems to be directly hooked to Loopy, or through the iPad, but through Loopy. So if you take it out of the chain, it disconnects. So I would advise you to connect it through the way I explained you earlier, previously in the previous video. Anyway, moving on, we're gonna move to AudioBus now. Monitoring off. Okay, we don't want the monitoring. Now I'm gonna go to AudioBus. So we're gonna select sending information to Loopy, Loopy is gonna send information to Okay, so that's pretty much it. We're gonna open an app. It's gonna jump back in. We're gonna go back to Now this track that's been already automatically created for us, it's a master output from Loopy. Okay, so basically all the tracks down that includes metronome comes here and then comes out. Okay, now you could leave it, okay, but if you want to use this layout as more as a loop tracking or just tracking, I would delete this. I'm just gonna create a few tracks here. I'll quickly run through. So I'm gonna do IAA. We're going to Loopy, and then we just let's say we're using 3 tracks. You want to track 3 tracks or 3 loops, and that's gonna happen on 1, 2, and 3. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Now, if you want the Loopy metronome, you actually need to go and also select metronome, okay, if you want to hear the metronome from the Loopy. I actually find it much more convenient because, again, see with the controls of scene 5, you can still control the Loopy, and they are linked, okay, so they're listening to each other. Now, the next thing I'm gonna do, just send it to whatever the bus, and let's make just C. Because once you start dropping a recording number of tracks, you're gonna start clipping. It's not what we want. You could either take the volume down, so so keep the output low, and then we're gonna go C and just gonna dump a limiter on this. Obviously, we need to adjust the limiter, but that's up to you. Obviously, up to your session. I'm just gonna call it master out. Okay, you could just have this as a master, your master output. Now, okay, so now we're going to the fun part. So that's again our, Loopy coming in. What we need next? We need to send information to Loopy, and there is a few ways to do it. The way I do it, I would mix bus. I will have this as A, or whatever else. I mean, it makes no difference. You can make it whatever you want it to be, and then you go to AudioBus output, and then you have Loopy HD. So basically, anything that's gonna be sent to through 8 is going down to Loopy, and then it's coming back to whatever the channel you have now. We have channel 1, 2, 3, only 3. If you send this, if you send this to channel 4, nothing's gonna come through. Okay, so you need to keep this in mind. So in a way, this maybe is a little bit more advanced way of setting it up. Again, if you would want to hear them all you need to do, go back here, AudioBus source. Okay, let me just do it again. Loopy HD combined system output, and this is exactly what the session came with when we did the AudioBus, right? So you could, even though I deleted the track earlier, you could always just redo it easily, okay? So again, you either want to have one track for everything, or, individual tracks, depending on how many you need. Now, just a quick thing, backtrack here. See, when I do my loops, I would actually do the panning, for recording purposes and etc. Get my volumes. But once I return back to I want to have full control of it in so I would usually, try to take it as close to 0. Okay. Now another thing is, this is track 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. If we had 9 tracks, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, etc. Okay. Hopefully this clears things so you can follow. Okay. Now, so another thing I do that I find really convenient with is that you can easily, rather than always set up a track from 0, you could basically import already existing tracks. So I actually have, so let me just take my volume down. I already have this set, so let's say this track here. Okay, so I don't have microphone C, so I don't have my interface connected. I'm actually using my iPad microphone, so I need to disconnect. But this would usually be your interface, right? But I don't want to create a feedback loop. So that's it. And if we go down to the bottom, see, I already have this track created. So I preset this specifically for a loopy session. Okay, if something halfway through the session you want certain track, so I have few tracks for guitars and few tracks for synths when it's just one individual track with already sent to A. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, again, you could another way to do it, if you were to do it the other way without these tracks, if you just quickly delete them, and let's say if you just happen to have still sending it to master, okay. Where was it? We're gonna go here. Oh, I'm sorry. Going here. So that's everything, right? You could have it a few ways. You could actually send this individual track directly there, right? So you're sending it there, and it's coming back through master. So again, few ways to deal with it. Go and explore, see what works with you, and that's pretty much it now. So the last thing we will need to do now, depending on what the session is, I would advise take whatever I covered. See if you could create a few different sessions, see what works best. And if you go back to AudioBus, if you save this, okay, that's it. You only need to save it in AudioBus. It's actually gonna have everything set for you. So if I switch everything off, okay, if I go back to AudioBus and create open now, let's see, I don't even know what that is, but if we just open this up, so it should take us back. Let's see, I mean, the cool thing is it should load everything for me. Yeah, that's it. So it does all the links. So see, I have even bigger session here, where I have my drummer and my bassist. So anyway, listen, I hope that makes sense. I think here I just noticed. So I have the controls here. So this is scene 1. That's it. I'm still working for a best kind of setup that kind of works with me. But yeah, I mean, sky's the limit. There's just so many ways you could approach it. So yeah, again, hopefully it makes sense. Let me know if you guys have any issues, any problems, any questions. Reach out or just drop a message. Any comments, whatever. Anyway, all the best. Bye. Cheers.